Okay, well, let me know when you're ready for the pre-departure briefing, Karen.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, you heard most of the flight attendant briefing, so they will not call us during any sterile cockpit period unless they perceive a real emergency. It's your leg, so once we take the active runway for takeoff, I'll handle the radios for ATC and also the cabin announcements. Look like the airport NOTAMs all pertain to the west side of the field, so nothing really applies to us. Same thing for the en route NOTAMs, nothing really affects our route of flight. And the only bulletin I saw was down around Las Vegas, and we'll be well north of that. So, you have any questions or comments so far?
No, that sounds good.
Okay. Okay, well, traffic's pretty light on this side of the airport, and it's not too far to the departure runway. So it's going to be a relatively short taxi, but let's take our time, make sure we get everything done and done right. I haven't been to this airport for quite some time, and in fact, I don't think I've ever been on the east side of the airport here, so let's keep a close eye out on that. ATA says runway 35 for departure. So I'm anticipating from our location taxi to the west side of the ramp. That's taxiway Kilo, and we'll take a left turn, short taxi southbound, and we should come to Kilo 1. I anticipate our takeoff will be on 35 from Kilo 1. If you look at the airport diagram, runway 35 and 32 are pretty much in the same spot, so it's going to be one expansive mass of concrete down there. It can be a little bit confusing. So let's use all our visual aids, the runway location markings. We use the runway location signs, and if you would cross-reference the heading when we're in position on runway 35 on the compass.
Okay, I'll make sure that both of our compasses show 346 before we take off. And also, there are no hot spots for takeoff or taxi depicted on the airport diagram chart.
Okay, great. Let's talk about rejected takeoff. Above 80 knots, we're into the high-speed portion of the takeoff. We'll only reject the takeoff if it looks like the airplane's not going to fly, or if I get a fire warning, or an engine failure, or a predictive wind shear caution or warning. In any case, I'll make the call and perform the maneuver. I'll take the aircraft from you and I'll say reject, reject. And what I want you to do is call the tower, tell them who we are, where we are, and what we're doing. Something like Tower Consolidated 1481, aborting takeoff runway 35, rejecting takeoff.
Yeah, I'll make sure that I say it twice, and that's what I'll do.
All
Reject.
right, sounds good. It's going to be your leg to fly, so I'll let you go ahead and finish the departure briefing.
Okay. There are no special procedures for engine failure or terrain clearance departing on runway 35. And it looks like the majority of the high terrain is to the east, and our route has us generally going to the north. We do have our clearance. It does check with our flight plan. And for performance, we have flaps 1 reduced since we're well below the maximum weight for reduced thrust. If we should happen to experience any equipment failures, I'll continue to fly the aircraft until you say otherwise. And if we do get real busy, it's for terrain. In the airport briefing page, it says to fly a heading of 330 and climb to 12,000 feet. So if we get wrapped up in anything for terrain, we should do that. The transition altitude is 18,000 feet. We'll both be looking out for traffic watch. If I do get a TCAS resolution advisory, I'll go ahead and fly that, and then we can back that up with a call to ATC. And since there's no additional crew members jump seating, I believe I've covered everything. Did I miss anything?
I think you got it all. Let's
Great.
do the before start checklist.
Before start checklist, departure briefing.
Complete.